So statistics is the most important topic, I think, in higher level apps. And it boils down to understanding that populations have parameters that are essentially unknowable. So first of all, when you think of a population, you shouldn't be thinking of people. You should be thinking of a list of numbers. This one is the height of adult males. This is the population here. Not the people themselves, just the numbers. Now, there are so many of these that we can't average them. We would have to measure the height of every adult male at the same time, and it's not practical, so we can't do it. And they are called parameters, and the two most famous parameters are the average of these numbers, the population mean, and the variance of these numbers, or standard deviation. They're absolutely interchangeable whether I write sigma squared or just without their squared and say sigma. So they're written in Greek because they're kind of mysterious. We can't know them. So what we do is we take a sample. Now these 5 people here, I've chosen them in an intelligent way, and you may be asked about that. Is this a stratified sample? So they represent the population. I've only picked 5 of them, so this isn't great. And again, you should think of the sample as a list of numbers. Now this list of numbers is going to give us insight into the parameters, but it can't tell us what they are. Now when I use the calculator to find these, and just remember, you type them in, go calculate, you always press set, and you only ever check this one line here. This has no frequency column, so I put a 1 in there. That's correct, and then 1 var. So my average is 163.6. And then the smaller of these two numbers is the standard deviation of the 5 numbers in this list. So it has got the symbol wrong. This is saying the population standard deviation is that. Now, of course, we don't know the population. So what we can do is use this number, how varied my sample is, to estimate how varied the population is. And that is called Sn minus 1. And that is also on the calculator. That's what this other one is. Again, the notation isn't correct. 22.2 is a sensible way of estimating the population standard deviation. So Sn minus 1 is 22.2 from the calculator, and that's saying I would expect the sample to be less varied than the population. There's only 5 of them. How varied can they be compared to an infinite population? And so there is a sort of scale factor that we apply, which is the size of the sample divided by the size of the sample minus 1. In other words, in this case, 1.25. I would expect the variance of the population to be 1.25 bigger than the variance of the sample. So notice the way I just switched into variance when it was more convenient. It's better than having lots of square roots in this formula. And other times I just talking about standard deviation. You've got to get used to that. So the real thing that makes this such an interesting topic and such a big one is that every time we take a sample, we're going to get a different average. These 5 people happen to average that. If I take another 5 people, I wouldn't expect that to be the same. In other words, x bar is a variable. X bar changes, and almost all of the statistics we do are based on that. So this is part 1.